Good morning, everybody. Welcome to today's special webinar. I am Amy Policastro Schrader, Career Development Workplace Learning Consultant for the North Carolina Department of Public Instruction, Office of Career and Technical Education. I'm excited this morning to have with us Dr. Constance Hollingworth Pierce. She is the Manager of K-12 Client Services for CFNC Pathways, and she's going to share with us exploring new CFNC ProTools, reporting features, and CDP Career Development Plan integration. As far as housekeeping for this morning, if you would please keep your mics muted. If you have questions, please put them in the chat. I'll be monitoring the chat as well as other special guests in the room. I also have a form for questions. If you find that you think of a question throughout and maybe it wasn't the right time to get that question out there, and the form will be followed up after the webinar, but please know that Constance is open to taking questions throughout. Just put them in the chat. There's always an opportunity to follow up later as well. I will additionally put a QR code in there for questions too if you're unable to open that link. We have tested the link this morning. So again, welcome. Welcome to Exploring New CFNC ProTools, Reporting Features, and CDP Integration. With us this morning is Dr. Constance Hollingworth Pierce, K-12 Client Services Manager with CFNC Pathways. And please know that this webinar is recorded. And with that, I'm going to pass it over to you, Constance. Thank you so much for being here. We certainly do appreciate it and look forward to hearing about all the updates.
Thank you, Amy. Thank you so much. I'm going to share my screen. I know that you all have been waiting and are excited for these new features that we're going to talk about today. Again, I am Constance Hollingsworth Pierce, and I am the K-12 Client Services Manager with our Pathways Office here at CFNC. And today we are going to be exploring new CFNC ProTools reporting features and CDP integration. So to take a minute just to go over, have our overview of what we're going to be discussing today. So for about 20 minutes, I am going to take a minute to go over our ProTools, let you know what is ProTools, because some of you may not even know what ProTools is. So we'll spend a little time going over ProTools. We will talk about college reports, and then we will look at the CDP updates. So I want to take a second to go over what ProTools is, look at our ProTools, what is the overview of it, because this is a larger overview, and then I'll go over our updates for our CDPs, and we'll answer any questions before I hand it off to my counterpart. So what is ProTools? ProTools is CFNC's professional tools. It's an essential companion for educators to support students in career and college planning. So with this, what can you do in ProTools? We have Student Finder to help find your students. You can look at college reports, career reports, and we have custom reports. We also have a way for you to create bulk accounts, and we're getting better at that. We have some updates there as well. So ProTools user roles. We have ProTools users, which is our general access to ProTools. This is available for anyone that works through K through 12 or an organization that has access to ProTools. Then we have a school level administrator. Those users have ProTools users accounts, but they're also able to add and remove access for ProTools users at their school. So we encourage at least one person to have school level administration admin rights. That way you don't have to contact our office each time. If we have a school level administrator, they can grant access and remove access as individuals come within and out the school. And then we have district level administrator. They're able to add and remove access for school level and Pro Tools users. So why is this important? Because these district level admins under CDPs have more rights. But who can get access to district level? You have to have a district level role, or for our CDPs, you have to have be over multiple schools in order to get district level admin rights. For school level, you just have to be at a school and you have to have permission from your principal or assistant principal admin. How do you get Pro Tools rights? You can go to cfnc.org. And that's the first thing you want to do is to create your account. So you go to cfnc.org, you go to My Dashboard, Education Professional, and you want to create your CFNC account. You want to make sure that you label that account Education Professional. You want to make sure that you choose that, and you want to make sure that you put in your school email address. A
Constance,
short,
there's a question in the chat. The
yes, ma'am.
question is, how many district level administrators may a PSU have within CFNC?
3 to 4. 3 to 4.
Thank you.
Yep, no problem. And then a shortcut for the URL is cfnc.org/ProTools. You can also email us at cfnc@northcarolina.edu. If you say, I've already done this, I've already emailed cfnc@northcarolina.edu, let me give you a little hint. You will receive an email back that says, please respond back to this email and just say confirm. If you don't take that second step, we never receive your first email because of spam. So if you decide to email us at cfnc@northcarolina.edu, you have to email us back and hit confirm. Then we will receive your email because of spam. And that's a hiccup that a lot of our educators face. But if you complete a form, then it comes directly to our department. Let's say you have an account and you cannot access your account. Want to remind you, while I would love to support you in that area, I don't want access to your personal information because some of you all have it tied to 501 loans, or you might have it tied to scholarships. I don't want access to that information. So I don't have access to that information. So if you have an account and you cannot access it because you forgot your password, you are able to, when you go into Pro Tools, cfnc.org/ProTools, you can hit forgot password. But if you're still having problems, dial 1-866-866-CFNC, and they will take care of you. Make sure you hit that #5, or you can email them. They're able to look into your account and help you out there. Here we have just a little demonstration of how that looks. If you want to log into cfnc.org, click on select education professionals, and then you can access Pro Tools there. Our interface for Pro Tools, regardless of what page you click on, this is our interface. You will see this on the left-hand side of our Pro Tools. It'll go dashboard, students and groups, college reports, career reports, custom reports, and administration. Today, we're going to focus on college reports, specifically looking at what does it look like? What's there? And for you guys, I know you want to see those CDPs. So this is our page. Once you log into Pro Tools, this is what you will see. If you have multiple schools, up to the right-hand side, you see AC Rentals. If you have multiple schools, you will click there and you will choose which school you're looking to work with at that moment. So whatever school that you see on that right-hand side at the top is the school data that you will see as you work inside of Pro Tools. I also want to point out our Pro Tools help at the top left. That Pro Tools help will walk you through each step. So if you have questions about what's in students and groups, what's in college reports, what's in career reports, our Pro Tools help is right there to assist you as well.
And Constance, we have another question in the chat. The question is, what if custom reports is not an available option?
What if we're doing some updates. So in the last 2 weeks, because we've been doing, our IT team behind the scene has been working very physically hard to get these CDPs up. Our custom reports was down for a couple weeks, but it will be back up within this week and next week. They're finalizing these CDPs and working through that. So that should be working. If you have problems, please submit a ticket to our help desk and we'll be able to look into it individually for you.
Thank you.
No problem. If you want to know who your district administrator is, to that left-hand side, you will, at the top under CFNC and ProTools Help, you will see the district administrator and you will also see school administrator. You will only see the district administrator that we added first. We don't prioritize district administrators. So whoever was the first district administrator to ask for access will be the person's name that you see as well. So let's dig into college.
I'm sorry about that, Constance. A
Oh, no
quick
problem.
follow-up to
Oh,
that question came
yes.
in. Who do we contact? The same person related to the custom reports not being available. Who do we contact if the district administrator is incorrect?
If it's incorrect, you can submit it through our ticket. And towards the end of my last slide, I'll have that email for you. And then if you just email us, we'll take care of it. You can also go click on ProTools Help. And when you click on ProTools Help, there is an area where you can submit a ticket. It says submit a ticket on the left-hand side. And there you can also add any information there that you need us to look into for you. No problem.
Great, thank you.
No. So we're going to dig into college, we've got career reports. So CFNC plus NC Careers, we're better together. So for our career reports, we don't do anything extra. We know that we have the best, so we utilize NC Careers. And as your students complete their assessments on NC Careers, you can come to ProTools to view that data. With NC Careers, we utilize their career cluster match, interest inventory, reality check, work value sorter, skills matcher, and be your own boss. Inside each career report, you can search, you can export, and then we have some hyperlinks that you can also look and see specific information directed to that individual student. So here we have an example. If your student submitted and completed any of those, this is one way that it will look inside of ProTools. You can hover over, click on that cluster or pathway name, or if you're in a different assessment, it works the exact same way. You can hover or click on it to find out more information about Aaliyah or Shayla or any student that you're looking at on an individual level.
And
You're all,
Constance, a request came in and a question.
yes.
Is it possible to slow down on the clicking through the slides? And or is this presentation going to be shared?
It will be shared. We're recording live and it will be shared directly to you, but I sure can. I can slow down as well.
Thanks, Constance. And I guess a
No.
reminder, we have quite a few participants and participants who came in after I did mention that this webinar is recorded. Thank you.
Thank you. So as you're going through each of our assessments, they work the exact same way. You can go in for each individual student that you see. You can search their name, first name or last name, and then you will see their individual results. You can click on, hover over to see more information about the information or the matches for that individual student. You can also export. That export button is on the right-hand side, and we also have it highlighted in green. There, you're able to export information for all of your students. And that is in each individual report. We will have, and we do have specific trainings that go deeper, or we do a deeper dive into this, and we're more than welcome to do that for your district as well. If you do export, this is how it looks for you guys. You will be able to see the student's ID number, their first name, their last name, the date that they completed the assessment. If the students did several assessments, the last two will populate here. Their scores will be there. You will see their cluster names, or for each assessment, that typical name. And then you'll also see the URL. On those URLs, you're able to copy and paste it into your web browser for that individual student. So if you're working with a student one-on-one, you're able to come in here and look at their clusters and have a meaningful conversation with your students. So here is what you all came here for and been waiting for, our career development plan updates. Voila. So on that left-hand side, under career reports, right under career cluster match, you will now see career development plans. You can see it looks just like our other areas. We have that graduation year, so you can select your students. And a key point I want to highlight here is you want to make sure that on your students' CFNC account, they have the correct school and correct graduation year. That is very key to making sure that you have the correct students populated under the correct graduation year. So you want to make sure that your students have selected the correct school and correct graduation year in their profiles on CFNC.org. But here you see our career development plan report, and you're able to select that graduation year. If you have created a group under students and groups, again, you can create small groups there. We can do a specific training on that at a later time. Very simple to do. You're able to highlight by gender or grade there and specify specific groups. So if you wanted to do a group, we have that option there. Interests, what we have there, you will only see options there for what your students have chosen. So we'll look at how that looks. And then we have progress filters.
And Constance, we have two questions in the chat.
Yes, ma'am.
If a student transfers schools, how is the student? Oh, there's a few more coming in. If a student transfers schools, how is the school changed for the student?
The students will need to go into their CFNC.org account, and then they will change their school there. And so if they are at Harnett County High School or Harnett County Middle School, they go into their CFNC.org accounts. They will remove that school and add 71st Middle School.
Okay, we've got four more comments. I'm not sure if this is a question or just agreement. Yes, would like to know how to create a group, and you'll be going through that, correct?
No, ma'am, not today.
Not today.
Our focus today was career development plans to let you know what was updated. But we have that information that is on our ProTools help. It goes through each step, but we're also able to do individuals if you email us as well. Okay.
Excellent. And then a few more questions.
Mhm.
When the eighth grader goes to high school, similarly, will the school automatically update or how is it changed?
So we don't know what school students are going to. So what happens is one key thing that I have started to say as I'm doing trainings, deeper dive trainings, is when your students are in middle schools, we know that they're going to a feeder school, or we hope, and they can always change it. But when they're in middle school, I start to advise for you to have your students to put their potential feeder school. Students can have multiple schools there. So have them to put their middle school under their school connection and also their potential feeder school. If that feeder school changes, they just go back into their CFNC.org account and change that connection for that school. So
Okay.
again, they go into CFNC.org. That's in any case, if they're going from middle to high school or if they're changing schools, the students have that ability in their CFNC.org to allow schools to see their data.
Okay. Thank you. And the graduation years are not correct for my middle school students. What does this mean?
So it could have been two things on the bulk. If you did bulk upload, it uploaded incorrectly to the incorrect graduation year. And that's probably if it's for all of them, that's probably what happened. So what would need to happen if you could, at the end, when we give you the email address, if you could send us that bulk upload form and the name with the name of the students, then I have to submit it to IT for them to look into it to change that graduation year for you.
Okay. We do have a few more coming in. Is it possible to have all assessments exported on one report?
We're going to talk about that in a second.
Okay. Is there a single sign-in option for CFNC and NC Cloud?
My wonderful partner will talk about that when we get towards after this part.
Fantastic. So, a suggestion on best way to set up their CFNC account, a school email, and is there a sheet on how to create an account to set up a cheat sheet?
It absolutely is in our cfnc.org. I'm sorry, on our Pro Tools. Under administration, you will see Buck Upload. And once you click on Buck Upload, there have been some fabulous changes there, but it walks you through what to do. We also have a Buck Upload form that you can download the CVS, and so you will complete it there, and then you will submit it back to us. But that is on Pro Tools, and if you go down to the administration, you will see Buck Upload.
Okay. So great advice. So in other words, add both schools when they first set up their accounts or
Yes.
when we both, okay.
Absolutely. And
And
if you
then,
do bulk upload, just have your students to go in and add that secondary school. It's
okay.
very simple. They type in a search box, the school pops up and they do add school.
If a middle schooler chooses their feeder pattern high school, would their middle school counselor still have access to their accounts?
Yes, they do. Students can have multiple accounts, multiple schools.
Should all schools see their CDP data? My CDPs are complete, but not population in the report. And then somebody else says, yeah, that's same with me as well.
This is brand new, so we have a brand new as of this week, as of yesterday. So give them a little minute. We're still working with our partners to make sure that information is going over. So give us probably to the end of this week. You should start seeing those that information start to populate. And there
Okay.
could be some other things that we have to look at on an individual basis, but that is the synopsis of it.
I may, and there's something juggled. What if we click on the grad year and click submit and then nothing happens?
So that goes back to that last one. They're brand new as of yesterday, working out some little kinks there. So we're hoping by the end of this week, next week, that that information will stop populating if everything was done correctly. If not, we'll look at it on an individual basis between Jamie's department and my department as well.
Thank you, Constance. And that's it for now.
Okay. Thank you guys. Great questions. So to do a deeper dive on the progress filter, what you will see is completed assessments. You'll be able to click on completed assessments. You'll be able to click on save the occupation, saved a favorite school. Those are the options that we have there for progress filter. Now I'll show you how that looks. You are able to see your total students, how many completed that assessment, total who specified a career. So if you want to look at those percentages, I know you guys, I used to be a school counselor. So you want to know who submitted that information. You want to know who completed it. How does it look? You can also do that as well. And you, of course, you see that export button. You will be able to export that as well. Look, we have the individual names. Um, we have that completion rate for each individual student. And let's say you're on Courtney and you want to know more information about Courtney. Why is Courtney only at 10%? What has she completed? How does that look into as you look in at a form? So high test student 5 has completed 100%. You're able to click on that student's name and look. You're able to learn more about that student. You can see on the individual level, we give you that CDP plan. The completion percentage is 30% for that student. If they completed a resume, under resume created, it will say yes or no. We have their learning style, any notes that the student has entered. Their future goals will be there. So under that interest, whatever those saved occupations are, you will start to see that populate based on your students' answers. You can see their future education goals. If they're in high school, that 11th, 12th grade year, if they completed FAFSA their senior year, what programs they're interested in, it gives you whatever information they completed on with our partners on NC Careers. We have that information here for you guys. I'm going to pause. Any questions, Amy?
Not, oh, just as I'm saying not at the moment, one popped up, Constance,
Yeah.
and another one as well. I am listed under the correct high school, but the school administrator has never been an administrator at the school, and district administrator left a few years ago. So that's a
If you
statement. Yeah.
Yeah, if you can send that to us, in those individual questions, send it to us in an email, and we'll get your school situated. That's no problem. I'll give you the email address on our last slide. Just send us a email, and then between myself and my counterpart, we'll look at those and we'll get your district situated. Thank you for that.
Two more at this point. Any possibility that the course planning tool can be added to reporting? That's a great activity to use to meet the eighth grade revision requirement.
And which one was that?
Any possibility that the course planning tool can be added to
Oh,
reporting?
Not at this time that Jamie's counterparts, IT team and my IT team are having those conversations, but not at this time. That's not in our immediate plans to do, but those conversations are happening.
Okay. I do have another question that's in the chat, but just for clarification for everyone, when Constance is referencing her partner and Jamie, that's Jamie Vaughn with NC Careers, um, and who is here for later questions.
Yep, and he's going to jump in as soon as I finish. He's going to jump in to answer some more questions for you guys as well, and to introduce some cool things also.
We've got another question in the chat. For current courses, will this eventually talk to Infinite Campus to auto-populate those courses?
At this time, that is not within our purview, not something that we have in our works, but that has been put on the table as well. But at this moment, that's not within the works.
And thank you. That's it for now.
Okay, awesome. So you get to see our career development plan. We do have some updates for our administrators. So district level administrators, you are now able to go under district state reports and click on CDP statistics. And here you will be able to choose your district. It will automatically populate for your one district. You have several schools, of course, under that district. You're able to choose a school, and you're able to see the completion percentage by school. So if you have more than one school, which we know you do, then you will be able to see each school completion percentage side by side. You're able to see the completion percentage for that school, who's completed, who's started, who's not started at each grade level. So we see 8th, 9th, 10th. And then you're able to see a completion percentage breakdown. One of the cool things I love that we are starting to do within our ProTools for each area that we serve is if you hover over a percentage of that circle, you're able to break down information about who has completed, what students, or so now we're looking at school level. At that school level, what schools have their percentage of completion, have started, not started, or completed. They're even able to drill down to students within that district level as well. So you're able to drill down by school, and then our district admins are even able to drill down by students and look at what students have not started, what students have started, and what students have completed as well. So on each level, our user levels, our regular admin level is able to drill down for their school. If you have Pro Tools user level, you're able to drill down by your students. And now our district level admins are able to see from school level to individual level. And we're excited about that.
We do have another two questions.
Yes.
We have students listed in the data who are no longer enrolled at our school. How can we remove them so they do not skew the data?
Under students and groups, there will be I did not go over that today. We'll do that in our larger one. But under students and groups, you will see you'll be able to remove that student there. If you go to our Pro Tools help, it does have that click under students and groups, and it'll tell you how to remove that student from your school. And this call we actually call it release.
Okay, thank you. A second question. I'm not seeing district state reports to the left. I am a district level admin.
If you'll send me an email, a specific email, we'll take care. We'll look into that for you guys.
Thank you, Constance.
And if you need my email, here you go. If you email me at CFNC of northcarolina.edu, we can look at those individual questions between tomorrow and next week. We'll get emails. We'll respond to emails between tomorrow and next week. And then that Pro Tools help, you can also go there and get the information you need about each individual stage on that left-hand side. Again, that left-hand side stays the same regardless of what you click on. And our Pro Tools help, we have that there. We have some updating to do between tomorrow and next week there to reflect our new changes, but that will be done. But if you need help about any changes with district admin is not here anymore or been added to Pro Tools, shoot us an email at cfnc at northcarolina.edu. Do I have any more questions, Amy, before I turn it over to Jamie?
I'm not seeing them, but if we could pause for a second as folks are soaking that in.
Yeah,
As soon as I say no, there aren't any,
it's going to come.
there are three that pop up throughout. But it's certainly been engaging with questions consistently.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
And
which is wonderful. I
And thank you guys for those wonderful questions. And I'm still here. Jamie's going to talk, but I'm still here. If you have questions for me after Jamie finishes, or if you feel more comfortable just emailing me at cfnc at northcarolina.edu between tomorrow and the beginning part of next week, we'll make sure we get back with responses to those to make sure you're taken care of. And just a reminder, this is brand new as of yesterday. So still working with Jamie Vaughn's team. So give us this week and next week to make sure we work out those kinks if you're not seeing data.
Constance, thank you. There are questions coming in,
Yeah,
and this is fantastic and great that it's on the go, so to speak, with questions. There's acknowledgement there that I appreciate that you are addressing questions as we go along.
no
Yes,
problem.
and again, the recording will be shared. It will go out through the CDC Work-Based Learning Moodle. I'll have it stored in. First, I'll do an announcement, the weekly digest, and then in the professional development section on that CDC Work-Based Learning Moodle. So three different places. And then we've got two questions here. Oh, and I'm not sure if maybe it's for Mia. I don't know if I shared this, so I'm going to repeat it. If you support multiple schools, may you have access to more schools with the school level access. So we do have some folks who are running between schools and not necessarily at one school in particular. Can they have multiple access to different schools?
Yes, I'm gonna go back. Yeah, and then here at that top right, if you have multiple schools, you'll have a drop down box. You'll click on that drop down box, and then you'll be able to choose the school that you want to work with for seeing that data for that specific school.
Two other items up. Well, now
Yeah.
there's three. Now there's four. No, there's a thank you. Okay. Question. I'm struggling with a big problem that when students do multiple assessments in one session, all the results show in NC Careers, but only the first one they did shows up in CFNC Pro Tools as being completed.
It should be, we should have several. I'm gonna have Jamie. Jamie, let's talk about that. We do have the availability for them to see you to be able to see two within CFNC, and it's dated each time. So that's something we can look into for you. Thank you for that.
Yeah, so I'll go ahead and just chime in really quick on that. I'm not sure if the question is what I think I'm interpreting is they complete interest finder, or then they complete, a different assessment, career cluster match or something. But if you're saying that they did interest finder twice, for instance, NC Careers only saves the most recent one. The most recent one they did, but I think the question also referred to that it saves the first one. So yeah, not quite sure on that. Can we get a little clarification? Are we talking about two different assessments or did the same assessment twice?
May I speak?
Sure.
Yes.
This is Audrey, so I'm the one that has the question. They're doing different assessments. So maybe they
Okay.
did reality check and they finished that up and then they moved into the work value sorter. And both of them will show in their NC careers
Yep.
as having been done. But then when we go over to the Pro Tools where we can actually have proof that they did it, only the first one they did shows up unless I have them completely log out and then completely log back in between each assessment.
Okay. I know. Thank you for that.
Yeah. Let's talk
when
on
you
that,
were saying
Constance. I'm
that,
not sure.
Nancy and I will definitely get with our IT teams to take a look at that. Thank you so much for that.
And
Okay.
Audrey, if you would specifically fill out that form that I put
Yes.
in earlier, I'll put that in the chat with that one. So we'll have
Yes.
record of that. Fantastic. Thank you.
Thank you.
And can I ask one follow-up question to Audrey?
Yes.
So I just want to clarify in terms of what you were saying there. So again, so one student logs in, they do, interest finder, they do career cluster match. They did interest finder first. Interest finder is sent over and viewable in Pro Tools. But if they log out and then log back in, is then career cluster match sent over or then viewable, or do they have to do career cluster match again? I just want to make sure we're clear on what you're asking there.
They're doing different assessments. So let's say they did the reality check. They were signed into NC Careers through CFNC. They did the reality check. It will show up on both platforms that they have completed it.
Yep.
If they go directly into, say, Interest Finder, it will show up in NC Careers that they did it. And so we've been having them take a screenshot of that to put in their Canvas course assignment to show that they did it. But when we try to pull the Pro Tools report, it does not show that they did that second different assessment.
Okay.
Unless they completely logged out and completely logged back in, which only half of them will do.
I think you just clarified my big question was, so they don't have to redo the second assessment. They just have to log out and log back in and then it gets sent. Is that what you're saying? Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you. Yeah. Okay. Thank you. Yeah. I was a little nervous that okay. Gotcha. Thank you. That helps clarify.
Okay.
All right. So we have two more questions at this point in the chat, and I put the generics email for support in the chat as a reminder that was on Constance's closing slide, cfnc@northcarolina.edu, and then a reminder with the form for follow-up questions after the webinar. That link is in the chat as well. So the two questions remaining at this point: if students have two accounts with different emails, do the students need to somehow merge the accounts, or is that something we can do as a school administrator?
So we don't merge accounts, but we do have under students and groups where it says duplicate accounts, and it gives the dates that the students last logged in. So what we advise educators to do when working with students is to have them to look into both accounts. So if they haven't even used one in a long time, to just move forward with one account, but you're able to see the username and the date they last logged in and completed anything under those accounts, and have them move forward with which one you all feel comfortable with moving forward with.
Thank you. And then another question, I may have missed this. I had to step away for a moment.
No
Is
problem.
the NC Ed Cloud connection set up yet, or is bulk load the only way for students to have access?
Quick question, Amy. Is that the last question?
Yes.
I'm going to turn it over to my wonderful counterpart, Jamie. Thank you, guys. I'll be here if you have more questions.
Thank you, Constance.
Thank you,
so
Constance.
very much.
And that's a good question to move forward on. And again, really appreciate, and again, very much appreciative of, number one, everybody's patience with this effort. As you can imagine, this has been a very, very, very large lift, both on the NC Career side as well as on the CFNC side, as you can all see. And again, really, Constance, that was awesome. Again, I heard you talk a lot. That was awesome in terms of, and hopefully this is answering a lot of the questions. This is going to really help me as well as my colleague Anshul Gupta, who's also on the call. As well, again, continue to answer those small questions that we get around CFNC, as well as, and also referring folks to this webinar. So really appreciate that from here. And again, that last question was a great question to kind of lead over and turn over here to NC Careers on to allow us to give you an update. So asking around the linkage with EdCloud and CFNC. So as Constance alluded to, again, the reporting went live yesterday. EdCloud, as we've been talking about for the last couple of months, the linkage and work between CFNC as well as NC Careers IT team has been ongoing beta testing. So I have seen the linkage work within CFNC. Our IT teams have shown us work. It's not, they're going to do the last couple of testings in beta over the next couple of weeks. Hopefully, again, fingers crossed that there will be no other continuing issues. Hopefully we'll have this launched again. I'm not going to give you a date yet, just simply because I don't want to give you an incorrect date. What my IT team is telling me is in the next couple of weeks. So again, just piggybacking on what Constance was referring to in terms of, this is brand new. Give us a week or two to kind of work out some of the kinks. And we certainly recognize there are going to be some moving forward. You can also look for, and again, Anshul, if you'll go ahead and can you drop a link to the newsletter, please, in the chat? So look for a guidance document very soon, kind of a one-pager that officially announces when the EdCloud and CFNC linkage is live. That's really kind of gonna be key from there. One of the questions that was asked or comments that Constance did a nice job, addressing. I want to add something else on that. So maybe if you're going in right now and looking in ProTools, if your students have used EdCloud to log in, that since this linkage is not finalized yet and officially launched, the information that your students use under EdCloud will not be in ProTools yet. Again, give us hopefully a couple of weeks within that, and that information will be available and ready. So that could be another issue that is maybe preventing you from seeing your students live from there. So as we've talked about for the last couple of months, how do you prepare for this linkage between CFNC and EdCloud? And the first thing I want to make clear is every student will ultimately need, whether they use their EdCloud credentials to log into NC Careers or not, they will need a CFNC account. That CFNC account will need to ensure that their student ID is included on that CFNC account. That is the key. The information. So if they log in with NC EdCloud, their EdCloud linkage is logged in, is connected to their CFNC account. The connection is the student ID number. Then that allows the information to go over to ProTools for reporting purposes. So that's why a student needs to have a CFNC account if you want to be able to view their information within ProTools. Now, next question moving forward, and something that you may, is that hopefully we don't think this will be an issue, but this is something that we were obviously thinking and troubleshooting about, thinking what potential concerns could there be. So maybe your student has logged in with CFNC into NC Careers. Maybe they've logged in with EdCloud. Maybe they've done a little bit of work in both. My guess is they primarily used one from here. What will happen when a student logs in? If they do have everything set up together in terms of active accounts. You can see this screenshot. So this is a screenshot. This is not exactly what it's going to look like, but it's going to look similar to this in terms of a pop-up window that'll appear that says the first time a student logs in and says, hey, multiple user accounts are found, linking the EdCloud and the CFNC accounts, which is obviously a positive thing, right? From here. So, and of course, your students, so we want to make sure that you're prepared when your students log in and say, hey, wait, something's happening here. I've never seen this screen before. If your students log in, you can see there at the bottom that they can ultimately make the choice they will ultimately choose which account is the one that they've done their work on. Is it the CFNC account or the EdCloud account? That information will then create the link and create the single sign-on. So if a student logs in using their CFNC credentials or uses their EdCloud credentials, all of their work will be available whether they've done it under NC Ed Cloud or CFNC. Now, the caveat here that I will say is that work. So let's say that a student has done all of their work in EdCloud and they choose their EdCloud account. That will be their account moving forward. Maybe they had put a little bit of work there under their CFNC account. That account is not, what happens is it becomes inactive. That work is not erased. That work is not deleted. We have access to it. It is just not included in that single sign-on. If you find that a student makes a mistake or and activates the wrong account or deactivates the wrong account, whichever way you look at it, we will have information in terms of how to set up the procedures to recover that account, to recover that information moving forward. So again, so nothing will be lost. It will just be a little bit of, we'll need to make sure we'll have to go through some administrative procedures. Those procedures will be very clearly spelled out in the guidance document that we share moving forward. You can also note that I just highlighted that students do have the option. If they do not want to make a decision right now, they're confused, tell them to close this window. It won't link the accounts and they can continue to work as forward. The next time they log in, this multiple accounts found will appear again, and you can help give them guidance or whatever the best way to move forward to create accounts. So hopefully this, again, we hope that this won't be much of a concern or an issue, but we wanted to be able to be prepared because we certainly know, again, working with students, they make decisions, they do different things, and we want to be able to recover whatever we have from there. So that's really key. Now, how are you going to know when this linkage is live? We will continue to share this information as we talked about through through our newsletter, through our social media, all of the typical channels. We absolutely share it with our colleagues over at DPI. We'll share it with our colleagues, obviously through CFNC, ask them to share this information through their communication channels as well. So at this point, I'm going to open it up. Any questions? Hopefully I answered everything. And again, you can always reach out to us through our through our communication channels as well, and we're certainly happy to address and answer questions.
Jamie, thank you for adding that information. And I do have a question that's come in, or two, they're coming in, and Constance is an incredible job in detail, taking the time to run through these updates for reporting and the CDP integration. So we've got some questions, and looks like the first one might be for you, Constance. Door number one, students will need a CFNC account to do their residency for college, correct? Is this correct? They will need, yes.
Yes.
And if so, what is the advantage for using NC Ed Cloud sign-in?
Jamie?
You want me to take that?
Tap you in.
So the advantage is the reason that, so we added logins for NC Ed Cloud starting at the beginning of last school year because that was a request from educators in North Carolina saying, hey, CFNC is great, but quite honestly, we don't have the controls, and Constance, correct me, or add on if you want to add on or correct something along those lines. The communications that we had was that we really wanted EdCloud login credentials because educators have better access and control. Students forget their passwords, things like that. If it's through EdCloud, they have the ability to reset, to reset that on the fly, kind of things, where it might have a little bit more in terms of CFNC account. So that's the advantage. Obviously, the challenge there is then that created a scenario where we connected from here, and we're fixing all of that. Constance, anything you want to add on that?
And then, it just depends on by district. So what districts want to use. And so we just wanted to, Jamie's side, they just wanted to make sure that everyone had all the options. But you are correct when they're doing their residency and filling out like applications, it's good to have CFNC. So that's one reason Jamie said want to make sure the students have that account as well and everything pulled in.
Okay, I've got some follow-up questions for this question, and then there's a different one totally. Two follow-ups here. I think I'll read them at the same time. Did I understand you to say that if students have worked in CFNC before we started signing in with NC Ed Cloud, we will lose access to the data from those assessments? And if so,
okay,
yeah,
sorry.
there's a few
Please.
parts. Go ahead, Jamie.
No, so yeah, so I'll address the first question first. So a student has the ability to, the student chooses which account which account they have done their work on. So if they have done CFNC a year ago and then they did some additional work in EdCloud, they will have to choose in terms of which account would be moving forward from there. So theoretically, they would have to read if they've done all their assessments in CFNC and then EdCloud, they had done other work. They would need to, and they choose their EdCloud account, they would need to redo those assessments from there. So I would just, whichever work the student has done kind of prior in. Unfortunately, that's the way the login was going to be created. So hope that isn't too big of a challenge. But again, the other piece is that that information will not be erased. It will just not be accessible in a single sign-on. We can keep both accounts active from there.
So for clarification, and if so, will the results, if they took these assessments, they worked in CFNC before using nCloud, will those results from the assessments completed in the CFNC still populate into the CDPs? If it was,
So again, I certainly understand and can see how this could be confusing. So if the work has been done through CFNC, I'll tell you what, I'm going to share my screen again. Oh, sorry, share. So the student will then choose which login credentials. Because right now, if a student has done a little work under EdCloud and some work under CFNC, there are two separate accounts from here with different information. They're not talking to each other at this very second. So if your student has done their assessments and most of their work in CFNC, you just choose the CFNC account. From that point moving forward, whether they log in using their EdCloud credentials or their CFNC credentials, they will then have the work that was done under the CFNC and theoretically, and yes, and so they would have to redo the work that they've done under EdCloud. Yes. Oh, is Amy, is that coming through clearly? Does that make sense?
I think so. Some folks, when this came about, the NC Cloud, there was communication. You did share that, hey, if you link it here, you can take them, but we won't be able to pull the data because it
Mhm.
isn't connected behind the scenes yet, and that some of that may have been missed.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
and
And
it's
again,
good.
apologies if this creates a little bit of frustration and challenge. Unfortunately, this is the way the IT solution ended up working out. So, but we feel this is a pretty good solution because the communication that we've gotten from a lot of folks is, oh yeah, no, we've either used CFNC or we've used EdCloud from there. So
Yeah.
hopefully that won't be a challenge. But again, the key is that the information will not be lost. We can always give them access back to the information they've worked on. It's just they would have to manually input it. So again, in this scenario, maybe students have done assessments under CFNC, and then they filled in some of the other stuff in the career development plan. Maybe they favorited some occupations or something. Just write down what those favorite occupations are and kind of communicate from there. So hopefully it won't be too a large barrier moving forward.
Okay, there's quite a few questions in the chat related to that, and
Yep.
I want to be careful not to repeat.
Sure.
I'm going to start on the top. Sarah, students will need a CFNC account to we did the residency. The next one is with Amber. I'm a virtual school, and we often have rolling enrollment throughout the year. How will this work for those who come to our school late in the year? Would we still need to create their account and attach the ID, then have them go through EdCloud? Or will they eventually be able to log in through EdCloud with us making the account? Hmm.
Okay. I think what I understand is if I'm reading that,
I think it's for
um,
CFNC,
do you think so? What do you think, Constance? What's your thought on that?
rolling enrollment, but I could be mistaken there. Um, this might be a question for the form, Amber.
Yes, and if Amber, if you can complete that in the form, and then between Jamie and myself, we can take a deep dive to make sure that we're answering that correctly.
Yeah, I basically like if a kid comes in late in the year, I saw you said to prepare, we should create the account with the ID attached before they can even really get into NCED Cloud. Like, let's say it's January next year, a kid comes in, would we still have to create them account and like upload it? or would they just be able to go into NC Ed Cloud and have access without us doing anything on our end? Does that make sense?
I think what you're asking is, okay, so let's say the scenario, the student comes in with a CFNC account already. Is that what you're asking? And then how's the connection for EdCloud and to CFNC? Is that what you're asking?
Yeah, it could be that too. Like just
Yep.
basically how would it work if they come in late after we've already created accounts with the IDs and all of that?
So yeah, so as long as the student has their student ID number, so maybe they're coming from outside of the public school system, right? Maybe they don't have a student ID. They've created a CFNC account or something. They can come in, give them the student ID number, and then they can log in using EdCloud they can log into NC Careers using EdCloud, and that connection will be established. Does that make sense? Is that what you're asking?
Yeah, that makes sense. Thank you.
Okay.
Okay, 4 more minutes and 4 more questions. And I put the chat, the form again for follow-up questions after the webinar in case we don't get to the 4 that are in the chat. Let's see, the question from April is, my students started their CDPs using NC Ed Cloud. Are we able to bulk create CFNC accounts with the student ID number so it will automatically be set up without the students having to enter their number? I don't remember the student ID being part of the bulk creation last year, but I could be wrong. So are we able to bulk create CFNC accounts with the student ID number so it will automatically be set up without the students having it?
You are correct. We've done some updates. So on our newer form, knowing that this would be something that we had to look into, our bulk update forms have been updated and probably will be updated one more time just to make sure that we're capturing all the information that's necessary to make this an easier process for you, for your our educators.
Thank you. If we have an old ProTools account from when we were at school, but need to now have a district level access, how do we revise our account to now see all schools in our district?
Please email me at cfnc@northcarolina.edu. In that email, just let me know where you are, what school you're at. We'll have to verify it. For district level, we will have to make sure that you that we can allow you to have district level access. But once we do that protocol, we'll take care of you. But just email us at cfnc@northcarolina.edu and we will take care of you.
Excellent. And what seems to be 2 quick questions is, so our middle schools are using NC Ed Cloud to create accounts and not using CFNC yet, our middle schools. So how does that affect when they begin using CFNC? Our middle school students are using NC Ed Cloud to create accounts and not using CFNC yet. So how does that affect when they begin using CFNC?
So once the CFNC, so in order to access, and remember, the CFNC account is only required to access if you want your students' information to be accessible through ProTools. So if you're good with the way that it's moving forward now, you don't have to do anything. If you want to be able to access and pull reporting through ProTools or pull reporting on your students' career development plans, you will need to create CFNC accounts, and as long as they have their student ID in there, nothing will change. The linkage will be connected from there moving forward. So yeah, it'll be a very, very simple process.
Okay, and then one final question for Jamie, and it seems like there's some support for this, that everyone's hoping that the answer is going to be yes to this question. So that's loaded for you, Jamie. Have you created a place in the career development plan to add a student's name?
So that is on the development slate there. From there, we're working on that. It is not there yet. At this point, what we're understanding is in the notes section at the very bottom, the student, several districts will have their students put their name in the notes section from there.
Okay, and I lied. A quick question came in, and then I'm going to wrap it up because we are 1 minute out. So the final question is, so work completed in EdCloud will transfer to the student CFNC account or will not?
As long as when this question is asked, which account do you want to move forward with? As long as the student chooses EdCloud and that's where all their work is done, yes, it will continue. Those accounts will be those accounts will be linked, and all the information will move forward.
Thank you, Jamie. Thank you, Dr. Constance Hollingsworth Pierce. What an incredible time frame to put all this together. As you've mentioned repeatedly throughout and answering the questions, this is just live this week, and we know how that is. And I've put in the chat questions, the link for questions, the link for your support, and ProTools certainly is a way to glean all the reports. Thank you for this time and effort. It has been fast. And Jamie with NC Careers and Anshul and your team, thank you as well for the support and helping us all make sure that we can move forward and have some free options for our career development plan and reporting for our users in the field for the students as a way to document what's going on with the students throughout their career development continuum and development, and noting what parts do meet the legislation, so that's documented. Comment in the chat is thank you so much. Thank you for your hard work on this and being so open to answer our questions about this change. Thank you in uppercase for listening and for the teachers in North Carolina and adapting the platforms. And that is perfectly put, Audrey, to address the needs. Fantastic. Really, the partnership, couldn't ask for a better partnership. And this is evident with the live Q&A and the changes that have been done so far. Thank you for making this all possible and for being here today. Everybody have a wonderful week. Stay well, stay safe, stay warm, and watch the Moodle for the recording of today's session.
Thank you all.
Thank you, everybody. Have a great day.